What's going on, y'all? I'm Allison Holker, and I am so excited to be here with all of you guys. I'm here to share my new book, This Far, my story of love, loss, and embracing the light. Man, I wanted to come on here with you guys today just to give you guys a little bit of insight of what's inside the book, why I started the book, and I think I'll kind of just start by saying that I'm really grateful to have all of you guys here with me because this has been such a journey for me. I've had a lot of highs, but obviously a lot of lows with also writing a book just because I really wanted to make sure I shared my most authentic and honest self with you, which could be really, really scary at times. But I feel really grateful that I did it because, I'm really fortunate that I started my journey with all of you in the media, being 18 years old on my first television show. And I just feel like ever since I was 18, I had such a foundation of fans and people following my journey and supporting me that I think that's why I felt it was so important for me to come out with this book, is you guys have been such a huge support system through everything that I've gone through, from being a little girl and then getting married and having kids and being on all these cool, crazy dance shows, and through the immense tragedy that I went through. And you guys have just really been there for me. And so I wanted to kind of give back and share a little bit of who I am behind the scenes that you guys may have not heard before. So that's what this book is. It's a story of my life and who I was before these dance shows and all the people that really contributed to me getting there. And then obviously going on this crazy dance journey in the middle of the media and Hollywood and traveling and having kids and becoming a single mom and having more children and just traveling the world. And so I wanted to give you guys a huge deep dive into my life and also kind of give you guys a chance to ask me questions while we're here. So anyways, let's get right into it. This book is going to take you on a journey, and it starts off by taking you through my childhood and what really built me up to be this individual that decided to move to LA when I was 18 years old. So you're going to learn a little bit about my childhood and my family and my parents and all the different kind of trials I went through before I even moved to LA on my own. And it kind of is what built me up to have that strong will to keep going in my life. I started dancing when I was between 10 and 11 years old. I had seen my older sister dance, and she is just such a gem of a human and someone I've always looked up to. So she is a huge reason why I'm a dancer to this day. She was also my dance teacher. And, it's funny because I think as a young girl, a lot of people think of dancers as being these light dancers that are ballerinas and they're tutus. But my sister was a warrior princess, and she was super aggressive and really strong. And she was usually dancing next to the men because I was actually a tomboy, so that's kind of what I veered towards. So yeah, my sister Jessica is the reason I am a dancer, and so she's just a huge hero of mine, and still to this day she is dancing. And so hopefully one day we get to dance together because we still have never done that, so that is a dream of mine. Some of my early life questions I have on here: what is one of my favorite memories of dancing? One of my favorite memories, it's actually in the book, so I'm not going to give too many details of it, but one of my first dance jobs I ever did was at the opening ceremonies of the Olympics way back in 2002. I was actually dancing with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I was a teeny tot. I was so little, but walking out into that arena, it was absolutely insane. The opening ceremonies, if you've never been to that and experienced that kind of energy, it is just so electric and crazy. But even beyond that, so I got to dance with Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I got lost on my way to the restroom. And so this story is actually in here more in depth, but essentially I got lost because I was a little girl and I didn't know what I was doing, and I don't know why I didn't have an adult with me. But I went back, after I went to the restroom, I went to the wrong tent. And there were all these crazy guys in black and white makeup with their crazy tongues hanging out and these crazy boots. And I just sat down at a couch with them and started talking with them. And one of them was oh, try on my boots and blah, 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 all this stuff. I sat there and I realized I was in the wrong tent. And then I was oh, I've got to go. I'm in the wrong place. I'm not with my troupe of dancers. I left, and then later on in the show, I saw that same group of guys walking down the hallway, and everyone was cheering, oh my gosh, it's Kiss. I was hanging out with Kiss, like the rock band Kiss, for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, just chatting up with them. And I'm like so little talking with them. Anyways, that's like one of my favorite childhood memories as a dancer, because I feel like that was really crazy. And I don't know where my adult supervision was. So you'll learn more about stuff like that. So stuff that's really fun in my childhood. But then also I'm gonna kind of jump ahead a little bit. So when I was 18, my dance teacher had said to me that she went to an audition herself in New York for a show called So You Think You Can Dance. And she made it to the audition round. And she said that during her audition process, it just seemed like something that was meant for me. And so she encouraged me to drive from Utah to LA to go audition for the dance show. But I had never seen the show. I didn't know what was going to be asked of me. I had no idea what it would look like. But my parents believed in me and they're like, sure, let's go do this. I was still in high school. I was 18 years old. We drove to the Orpheum Theater, which is downtown LA, and my parents were horrified. They were like, this place is so dirty and grungy. What are we doing dropping you off here? They were really scared, because also this audition was like, you have to be 18 and above as an adult, so you can't have a parent go in and supervise. So my parents were so nervous to drop me off, but I told them everything was gonna be okay. I had a couple of friends that were there. So I was downtown LA. I walked into this little theater, had no idea what I was doing, and there was like round after round of auditions, and I just kept making it through. And I think for me, not knowing what to expect kind of was like the gift that God gave me, because I didn't really have any expectation. I, at this moment, never really expected to be on TV. That's not why I was dancing. I was just doing it for the love of everything. So I wanted to dance and celebrate my love of it. And so I think just having that kind of expectation really kind of kept me grounded and really ready for a new opportunity. And I walked onto the main stage. I did my solo. And luckily there were a couple people judging me that I had actually seen and known from my childhood, which is also in the book. So that made me feel really safe on that stage. I was like, I know I'm supposed to be here. Like, I deserve to be here. I deserve this moment. And I felt so supported, and I got rushed right through to the next round. And I just feel like my journey just kept, I don't know, pivoting for me in the right way, where life was really working for me. And I know that every step I was taking, it was met with like preparation and luck. But I was just gung-ho for the journey. Like, nothing was gonna hold me back. I always knew that whatever it was gonna do, I was gonna succeed in it, just because I knew I was doing it for the right reasons. I've always said that the reason I dance was because the purpose that God gave me in my life was really to make sure I brought love and joy to people and to myself, and to really show people they could be seen through dance. And so You Think You Can Dance, during that audition, it gave me my first opportunity to really step into that role and that purpose for myself. And I've never taken that for granted. I've always known that I was supposed to inspire other young girls to dance, like how my sister did for me. And I was always supposed to tell people stories. I was always supposed to tell the joyous stories, the joy of having a kid and getting back out there and dancing, or the tragic stories and the really dark, deep stories. And so I find that to be really interesting, that I always knew that as a young girl. Going on to So You Think, that was what I was supposed to do, because I feel like now in my life, I always had the opportunity to tell other people's stories through dance. And I think for the first time in my life, it's my turn to tell my story. And so it feels like a very full circle moment that I've put in so much time and effort, always sharing other choreographers' stories or other friends of mine's stories, and crying with them and being there for them, or supporting them, or being the hope for someone else in their story. And I think this is kind of God calling on me to say that it's my time, in a different kind of way, with a different kind of voice of sharing what I've now been through and what my family's been through. And so it can be really scary at times to take on that new role. But I feel like I've been prepared for this time in my life because of shows like So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars. So yeah, so that's really special, and that's That's all here in this book, like everything that really got me to this point. And even with those shows, even when I look back at So You Think You Can Dance, I was on the show in 2006, all the way through this last year up until 2023. Or wait, 2024? What year was last year? I don't even remember. All the way up until last year, I got to be a judge on So You Think You Can Dance. And so all those years of being on the show, I've been able to share so much of who I am. But this is just kind of a deeper dive into that. Oh, there's chapters in this about resilience. It's a really big, strong theme for me. A lot of people have witnessed my life the last couple of years and asked me so many questions on social media, through DM or emails, or even honestly when I'm out in public, when I'm going shopping or grocery shopping. I've had a lot of people stop me and just ask, like, what's helped me have the strength to keep going through a lot of things I've experienced lately in my life. And I think that's why it was important to kind of go all the way back into my childhood, because there's so much that I've dealt with and gone through that I had never shared before that really taught me that I can handle anything that I'm thrown my way with the right tools. I've also had a lot of help and strong-willed people around me teaching me different ways of standing up for myself and sticking to my guns and wanting to be the best version of myself. I have 3 beautiful children that have been on this journey with me, and they've experienced it all, and they're very different ages. Like my oldest is 16, I have a young boy that's 8, and then my youngest is 5. And I have learned so much from them through this journey that we've all experienced. And I'm just so proud of them and everything that they show that they are and have become. And they still have these gentle hearts that haven't locked up yet because they're just still lovers of life. And I hope to really share with people that if you can find that like kid-like heart for yourself, you can keep going and experiencing life like that. I always say to my kids that we need to romanticize our lives because we only get like one chance at it. And so they're definitely like my inspiration to keep going, and like the way our family is still channeling through and still going and still experiencing it. We still find laughter every single day. So I'm excited for you guys to also read that like my children are also like my biggest champions. With that, I also thought it'd be kind of fun to answer some questions that you guys have sent in as we kind of like move into like the second half of this live. But also this book, I hope you guys can take this book, learn as much about me as you can, but also find a little bit of hope for yourselves. If you maybe have, been around someone that's kind of in a low themselves, encourage them to find purpose in themselves, to keep that motivation, to keep going. And if they can just wake up the next morning, they can hopefully inspire someone else and see that there's so many people that love them as well. Because the kind of grief that my family and I have experienced, it's really, really difficult. It's really hard, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. So if we can just keep encouraging each other to keep going and finding that light in life, and finding that life is really here to help us, not work against us. I think that will really help so many people. Also, if you would like a signed copy, go to thisfarsignedbook.com to get 15% off, and you'll get an autographed edition. I'm going to say that a few times throughout this, but I love you guys. And if you're new to following this live, thank you guys for joining. This is my book, This Far, my story of love, loss, and embracing the light. We're going to move into some questions that we have. So I know I've been rambling and talking. I do that a lot, but here these will be a little bit quicker. Okay. The first question is, where were you born? I was born in Minnesota, and I know Minnesota. And then I moved to Utah when I was like, I don't know, I'm so bad with ages and like knowing exactly, but somewhere between like 8 and 10. It's a really wide range. I was young, and I don't have that many memories of living in Minnesota, except that my dad was awesome and like used to make this like ice skating rink in our backyard. And so I like learned how to ice skate and play hockey back there. Number 2 is, what is your favorite color? I know it's not technically a color, but I like black and gold. What is one thing you need to have in your fridge at all times? I get made fun of for this all the time, but my snack is salami and Dijon mustard, and I could eat that and live off that every single day for the rest of my life. I've had the same snack since I was like a child. I love it and I'm obsessed. That, and I'm a sauce person, so I can just douse anything with sauce and I'll eat it. So if I have Cholula sauce, ranch, barbecue sauce, or ketchup, I'm happy. And mustard, obviously. Okay. The next question is, who is the most interesting person you met recently? That's a fire question. Okay, the most interesting person that you met recently? Wait, this is kind of weird. It's not like recent, but the most interesting person I know is my daughter's best friend, Simone. Her name is Simone Bacon. First off, her name's just dope because her last name is Bacon, and I just call her Bacon. But she's like, I've known her for like a few months now, but she's just dope. Like, she's just really cool. She comes with us on all of our holiday trips and hangs out with our family all the time. And she's like only 16 years old, but I kind of want to be her. I just think she's really cool. She comes with us and like, she just makes everything like light and fun. She just like is so invested in life and experiencing everything. I took her with us to Utah a couple weeks ago, and we were going to this cabin, and she looked at me and she just started bawling, and she's like, Miss Allison, this is my first time seeing snow. And it just like melted me. It was like the sweetest thing ever. So yeah, so my daughter's best friend. I don't know. Okay. What is my biggest pet peeve? Is it okay for me to give a few? Is that okay? Okay, cool. So my biggest pet peeve, first, eating with your mouth open. Not cool. Just keep it closed. Close the mouth. We don't want to hear it. We don't need to hear what you are eating. Second pet peeve, close cabinets behind you. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to sprain an ankle. I don't want to get a bruise on my shin. I bruise easily. I got anemia. So if you leave drawers open, I'm going to bruise. And that's something that's really just directed at my kids. So please close the cabinets behind you and the drawers, because obviously it's kind of a trigger for me because it happens a lot. So close your drawers, please. Let's see, what else? Biggest pet peeve is I'm like a feel good, smelly kind of person. So like, I don't know, smell good. Is that okay? I don't know. Just like put on deodorant and stuff. I don't know. Okay. What is your favorite hobby? I feel like I have like lots of hobbies. Okay. Is cold plunging a hobby? Because I like to cold plunge. I like the sauna. I like to work out. I love yoga. I like pickleball. I've never really done it, so I can't really say it's a favorite hobby, but it's about to become one of my favorite hobbies is golf. I went golfing for the first time the other day, and it was fire. I loved it. And I was out there for like 4 hours melting in the sun, but I thought it was really cool. So I'm picking up golf. That was really, really cool. Watching movies. I avidly think that's a hobby, and so I love watching movies. I'm a nerd, so I love everything Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Dune, Star Wars, all that. So I'm just a collector of items and stories, books, all the series, all of it. So that's a hobby of mine. Oh, which takes me to the next question. What is your guilty pleasure TV show? I just named them. Dune, all the Star Wars everythings, all the Harry Potters everythings, all the nerd stuff. I like it. And anime. Naruto. So, okay. Okay, there's only a few more of these, but they're really fun. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure junk food? I have a lot of these too. Okay. I like Reese's. Pretty much anything chocolate is really, really lovely to me. This is like, I don't know if this is like a normal pleasure junk food, but I like ramen, and I'll eat ramen any hour of the day with like sriracha sauce doused in it. So that's probably my pleasure junk food. And I hadn't had fast food in like 15 years until recently. But I would definitely put a quarter pounder and fries from McDonald's in that category as well. So don't judge me, or judge me if you'd like. I've also just recently had soda for the first time in 15 years. And if you mix your cup with 2/3 Diet Coke and then the other third Cherry Coke, it's delightful. With the like smashed up ice, not the regular sized ice, like the smashed up small, beautiful ice. That's my guilty pleasure. Who is the last band you've listened to? Ooh, okay, wait. Is Coldplay considered a band? Yeah, perfect. Okay. I just went and saw Coldplay play live in Australia. I went to both nights of their show, and it was the best thing I've ever done in my entire life. I can't wait to just be a fan and go see them whenever and all the times I can. So I would say Coldplay. I didn't just listen to them, I went and saw them live. It was really amazing. And where do you want to go that you've never been? I have a whole bucket list of places I'd like to go. I want to go to Bora Bora. I would love to go to anything in Europe. I've never really had a Europe experience. So I want to go to like Paris. I want to go to Ibiza. I want to go to Amsterdam. I want to do Rome. I don't know. I just think like, even like in the book, like I talk that I'm just such a lover of life. Like no matter how much grief I've been through and how much tragedy I've been through or not experienced all the good days and the bad days, like I just want to experience life to the fullest and see things and learn as much as I can. So I would go anywhere and everywhere, to be honest. Those are the last. Okay, so anyways, those are like a lot of questions I just ran through. Those are the rapid fire questions. You guys have been amazing. Remember that if you guys go to thisfarsignedbook.com, you can get an autographed copy of the book. And right now you can get it if you use FAR15 at checkout. You can get 15% off your purchase. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys have been incredible. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And yeah, thank you for all your love and support. Peace.